Welcome to Easy Driver, the most reliable source of automotive information on YouTube. Please like, share, comment and subscribe. Thinking about your next car? You're not alone if you're weighing the options between an electric vehicle, EV, and a traditional gas car. EVs are becoming more common on our roads, sparking a lot of interest. But a big question remains: which one is truly cheaper to own? It's a key question for many drivers, and the answer isn't always straightforward. We'll break down the costs to help you decide. Upfront costs, purchase price and incentives. When you are thinking about buying a new car, the initial price tag is a major factor. It is the first hurdle. How will the upfront costs of EVs stack up against gas cars? Let's break down what you can expect to pay at the dealership. Manufacturer's suggested retail price, MSRP, trends. The price difference between electric vehicles and traditional gas cars has been shrinking. Manufacturers are working hard to make EVs more available and affordable. We expect to see even more competitive pricing. For instance, some segments, like compact SUVs and sedans, could see near parity in MSRPs. This means a new electric sedan might cost almost the same as a comparable gas-powered one. However, specialized or luxury EVs may still carry a higher premium. Overall, the trend points towards a narrowing price gap, making EVs a more accessible choice for many buyers. Federal tax credits and state rebates for EVs. The government wants to encourage EV adoption. To help with the cost, various incentives are available. The most significant is the federal tax credit under the Inflation Reduction Act, IRA. This credit can give you up to $7,500 for eligible new EVs. Keep in mind that vehicles still need to meet strict battery component and critical minerals sourcing requirements. These rules can change which models qualify. Beyond federal incentives, many states offer their own programs. These can include state tax credits. Similar to federal credits, these reduce your state tax burden. Rebates. Some states offer direct money back at the point of sale or after purchase. Reduced registration fees. A lower annual cost to register your EV. HOV lane access. Perks like driving in carpool lanes even with one person. These state incentives vary widely. For example, California and Colorado have some of the most generous programs. Always check what's available in your specific state, as these incentives can significantly lower your net purchase price. Dealership markups and availability. Market dynamics play a big part in what you actually pay. Demand and supply will continue to influence prices at dealerships. For EVs, high demand for popular models can lead to markups above MSRP. However, as production scales up and more models enter the market, we might see these markups decrease. Availability of certain EV models could still be tight, affecting how much negotiation power you have. Gas cars generally have more stable pricing, but popular models can also see markups during peak demand times. The overall supply of gas cars is expected to stabilize, but specific models might have varying availability. For both types of vehicles, the dealership experience, whether you can find the car you want and at what price, often comes down to local market conditions. Fueling costs, electricity versus gasoline. Beyond the upfront sticker price, how much will it actually cost to keep your car moving? Fueling expenses are a major part of vehicle ownership. The picture for electricity versus gasoline continues to shift. Let's look at what you can expect to pay at the pump or the charging station. Average electricity costs for EV charging, home versus public. Charging an EV is different from filling up a gas tank. Most EV owners do the majority of their charging at home. This is usually the cheapest option. When you charge at home, you pay your residential electricity rate. Many utility companies offer time of use, TOU, plans. These plans give you lower rates during off-peak hours, like overnight. Smart charging features in many EVs and home chargers can automatically schedule charging during these cheaper times. Typical home charging costs could range from 5 cents to 15 cents per mile. This depends on your local electricity rates and if you use off-peak discounts. Public charging, on the other hand, can be more expensive. You'll find different types of public chargers. Level 2 chargers, often found at workplaces or shopping centers. These are slower but usually cheaper, sometimes even free. DC fast chargers. These are much quicker, allowing for rapid top-ups on road trips. They are also the most expensive option. Public charging networks often charge per kilowatt-hour, kWh, or per minute. Costs can vary widely. For public charging, expect to pay anywhere from 15 cents to 40 cents per mile, especially for fast charging. This means a mix of home and public charging gives you the best balance of cost and convenience. Average gasoline prices and fuel efficiency trends. For gasoline vehicles, direct comparisons are simpler. You fill up your tank and pay the current price per gallon. What will gasoline cost? It's always hard to predict. However, experts expect prices to stay relatively stable or see small increases. We are looking at an average national price likely between $3.50 and $4.50 per gallon. This range largely depends on global oil supply and demand. The fuel efficiency, miles per gallon or MPG, of new gasoline cars also plays a big role. Manufacturers continue to improve MPG ratings to meet stricter regulations. You'll see many gas cars achieving compact cars, 3040 MPG. SUVs, 2535 mpg. Trucks, 1825 mpg. To figure out your cost per mile, divide the gas price by your car's mpg. For example, a car getting 30 mpg with gas at $4 a gallon would cost about 13 cents per mile. This means for some efficient gas cars, the per mile cost can sometimes overlap with public EV charging prices, but home EV charging often remains cheaper. Impact of driving habits on fueling costs. Your daily driving habits have a huge impact on how much you spend on fuel. It's not just about the car. It's also about how and where you drive. Consider your daily commute. If you drive short distances each day, a home-charged EV is incredibly economical. You might only need to charge once or twice a week. What happens if you take road trips often? EVs. Long trips mean more reliance on public fast chargers. This quickly increases your per mile cost compared to home charging. Planning your route to include efficient charging stops becomes key. Gas cars. For gas cars, long trips mean frequent fill-ups. However, highway driving can be more fuel efficient than city driving for many gas vehicles. This can sometimes lower your average cost per mile on longer journeys. Heavier acceleration and frequent braking also consume more energy, whether it's electricity or gasoline. Drivers who accelerate smoothly and predict traffic flow will save money. Basically, the more aggressive you're driving, the more you will pay to fuel either type of vehicle. So, think about your own driving style and typical routes when comparing fueling costs. Maintenance and repair. Long-term ownership costs. Beyond what it costs to buy and fuel your car, how much will you spend just keeping it on the road? We're talking about maintenance and possible repair bills. These often overlooked expenses can add up over time, and there are some big differences between EVs and gas cars. Let's explore what you can expect in terms of long-term upkeep. Routine maintenance schedules and expenses for EVs. Electric vehicles generally need less routine maintenance than gasoline cars. It makes sense when you think about it. EVs have fewer moving parts. There is no engine with pistons, spark plugs, or oil. Here's what EV owners typically do for routine service. Tire rotations. EVs are heavier and have instant torque, which can sometimes wear tires faster. Regular rotations help tires last longer, costing around $20–50 per service. Brake fluid checks and replacements. While EVs use regenerative braking, which means less wear on brake pads, the fluid still needs checking. A brake fluid flush might cost $100–150. Cabin air filter replacement. Just like gas cars, EVs have a cabin filter to keep the air inside clean. This can range from $30–70. Coolant checks. EVs have cooling systems for the battery and motor. Periodically, these fluids need checking or replacement, costing around $100–200. Overall, EV maintenance schedules are often less frequent and generally less expensive than those for gas cars. Upfront costs are just the beginning. There's more to the total cost than most people think. Stay tuned for part 2. Please comment, like, share, and subscribe for more automotive information like this. Thank you for watching.